I don't care what your grandfather thinks about me, okay? All I care about is you. Now, you lost back there because you beat yourself. You let yourself get beat. I know you can do it. You're a special kid. You're my boy, do you understand? But you're also a spoiled, rich brat who's always had everything done for him. Now it's time to do for yourself, Mike, and you can do it. Because I'm telling you, the world meets nobody halfway. Do you understand what that means? If you want it, Mike, you gotta take it.
The pod bay doors are open. Welcome once again. I'm my host, Jerry Dean Roberts, at ArmchairCinema.com. Seated here with a man who meets no one halfway, the critic, dare I say legend, TalkMovieMe.com, Mr. Doug Heller. How the heck are you today, sir?
I want to remind everyone that this is a double elimination tournament. That means that if one of our semifinalists loses, they still have another shot to get at the finals. Reminder, this is a double elimination tournament.
And please remember, this is a double elimination
tournament, and we are going to remind you and repeat this as often as we possibly can.
Now, what that means is,
if they one guy loses once, then he still has another chance. See, that's the thing to remember about the double elimination tournament.
So going forward,
just remember,
we want to remind you. You know who came out the best in this movie? Alka-Seltzer.
Yeah. Did they? I'm sure they regretted paying for their product placement.
No. You know who came out worse was Valvoline.
Yeah.
There's a dude in this movie.
I'm sure it came out really bad.
There's a dude in this movie who chugs motor oil.
Yeah. It's like,
and then a few minutes later,
I'm gonna go after that guy because that is gonna mess up that's just gonna blur your vision. That's gonna screw you up.
Well, the funny thing is, he does that, and then a few minutes later, you see him chugging alcohol or Alka-Seltzer.
Yeah, because he's
so it's like.
Well, look, the guy.
It's gonna go one way or the other.
The guy that was representing Alka-Seltzer, his name is Harry Bosco, by the way. Mm-hmm. He says, "My whole body is an engine, and this is the fire plug." And he makes a fist, and he goes, "And I'm gonna light him up." None of that has anything to do with anything else in the sentence. Like there are three parts to that sentence that are all parts of other sentences that don't have anything to do with the sentence that they've been placed in. Like,
We're talking about, this is our last journey on the Turkey Month 2025, and we're ending it with Sylvester Stallone in Over the Top. Which, I want to tell you something. Stallone, for all of his successes, I think for every successful movie he makes, there are 3 that suck.
I think that's the Riff Tracks average that they work out during this at some point. They say that he's got like a 3-to-1 good to bad to good ratio.
Weirdly enough, this is not the worst movie he ever made.
No.
I honestly, it's probably the worst made. I think the bottom of the barrel, the apocalypse of his career should have been Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. I couldn't even. I don't even want to look at that because
I've seen it once.
I think I did too.
Too many times. Although a case could be made for Cobra.
Cobra's a little better structured at least. Cobra's at least got some ideas. He's trying to be Dirty Harry.
He's named Cobra because his last name is Cobretti. Okay.
Cobretti.
Come on. That was almost.
And Johnny Carson.
I'm sure it will be.
Actually. And Johnny Carson said, "I'm glad his name wasn't Crapetti." He's Crappa. Well,
I don't know.
This is the most oddly structured movie I think he ever made, and honest to God, and you should know this. This is a canon film.
Oh yeah.
Not only is it a canon film, not only is it a Cannon film, it is directed one of the
Manahem,
heads of the Cannon group, Menachem Golan.
Menachem Golan. And
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
He had a career.
There's a history to to the Cannon group, Cannon Films. It's just fascinating. This is the same year. This is the same year that Cannon made Superman 4.
I mean, which one did better?
Probably this. They had confidence enough to advertise this.
See, see, we have previously actually done Menachem Golan films previously in our Turkey Month. Most notably, the Apple.
Yeah, and Life Force. And Life Force.
Life Force. Oh.
But if we could, I mean, as I was watching this last night, I kept thinking to myself, this is it's a very creepy movie because basically Stallone plays Lincoln Hawk, which I can never understand because they keep saying, some people keep saying Hawks, and some people keep saying Hawk.
Yes.
And
Yes. And if you've ever seen a riff tracks with Robert Loggia, and you just hear them going Hawk,
it's because of
it's
this.
because of this.
Which in the rah-rah Reagan era 80s, Lincoln Hawk has got to be the most red-blooded American name I think I've ever heard.
Oh my God. I thought this guy was a Bruce Springsteen song come to life.
No, he is a Bruce Springsteen song come to life.
I know. Like and the crazy thing is this movie is about 10 years too late.
Yeah. Yeah.
If this had been in the 70s when the trucking craze was
Directed by Sam Peckinpah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how many broken arms there would have been in that tournament?
Yes. And I think
it wouldn't have been a PG movie, I'll tell you that.
I also think it's about probably 5 to 10 years too early because arm wrestling is a stupid idea for a movie. And if you want to do this, it should have been about 5 years later, 10 years later, when the UFC was a big thing.
Yeah.
That's a better idea for this.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's not a sport that is visually interesting because this is a bar sport.
It's not a sport that's particularly emotionally investing either.
Right.
Like I mean, you know, people all the time argue, well, we're not really watching it for the game, we're watching it for the story, the people behind it, and all this. It's like, yeah, no.
This is some crap you watch on ESPN on a very slow Sunday. You know, maybe tucked into
this is what you wake up to after you've fallen asleep to golf.
Yeah, and it ends up on Spike TV or something. But you know, boxing is
poker would have been a more exciting situation. And man, have you ever I've like Rounders and a couple of others that they really tried to cash in on that poker craze in the early 2000s that just fell flat.
Maverick did the same thing. Oof. They did the same thing. They did but they did a lot better.
At least that was a period piece.
But they did a lot better with that than they do with arm wrestling in this movie. The problem is, boxing is like the perfect sport for a movie because you've got all the poetry, you got all the personal investment in the ring, and when they get in there, it's a very intimate space because you're there with your opponent, and it's got this this life, this lesson of life in it because you know your opponent is life. and it's punching you in the stomach, and it's how much you can take and still be getting back up. What is it in here? And one thing that bugs me is all of these guys. They do the interviews, and they have all the tough talking guys.
I was sitting there. I was listening to the riff tracks of this last night. I watched this during the afternoon without them, and then I watched it with them at night. And they start talking to the camera, and one of them goes, "When did Christopher Guest take over direction?" Because it felt like it turned into like Waiting for Guffman or Best in Show.
Well, they start doing these interviews, and it's all the tough talk, and it's all the tough talk interviews, and the guys are growling at the camera, and then you get to Stallone, and Stallone's like, "I just want the truck."
Well, I guess the truck's the most important thing to me, you know. Yeah, it's what I do.
It's what I do.
I take the hat and I turn it around, and you know that's like turning a switch, you know. And then I'm ready, you know. That's an actual line, by the way.
So I just want the truck.
The truck's the most important thing to me, really. I don't really care about being champion or nothing. You know,
that's the second half of the movie, which has fuck all to do with the first half of the movie, which is it's a creepy thing because and I never could figure this out. He is disowned by his father-in-law, played by Robert Loggia, for some reason.
because he's a truck driving arm wrestling man and he's rich. But how hypocritical is it if he owns a trucking line that you find out at the end that he has a shipping line? How hypocritical is it to own a trucking line and look down on a trucker?
Because if you're of a certain there are certain people who believe that if you're a truck driver that you have failed in life, not realizing that, and here's the thing, not realizing that a lot of guys who either don't graduate from high school or they went in the military and they came home and they become a truck driver, they make a lot of money doing this. So that's a success.
Yeah. Like they make a lot of money. They're not home very much, so it is hard on the home life and everything.
And it's a long, lonely life.
I grew up with people whose parents were truck drivers, and actually there's one that was a very close friend of my family. The concept of them is all wrong. It's the same thing as like people who work in a warehouse or something. Like I remember when I worked at Sears, I was back in the warehouse, and I was talking to the warehouse guy, and I was reading a book at the time. I was reading Hermann Hesse's Steppenwolf.
Yeah.
And I had a long philosophical conversation with the man about Steppenwolf and Hermann Hesse in general.
Yeah.
For like 25 minutes. And he was the manager of a warehouse in Sears in Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was within that moment, and I was very young. I was in my early 20s. It was like, okay, hello world.
Your pseudo intellectual period.
I'm meeting you now.
Yeah.
But no, it was like, you know, don't judge people just by what they do, because you know, people do what they have to do to live.
And
you know,
depending on
their jobs,
and depending on where you come from, if you're a long haul truck driver, as he is, and you've come from nothing, which they indicate that he has, this is a pretty successful thing because he's making a lot of money. Now it's not owning
and he owns his own truck.
He owns his own truck. Now, whatever he did to Robert Loggia, I do not know, because whatever it is,
he's not good enough for his daughter. That's all it is. You are trying so hard. You are trying way harder than they did.
Yeah.
Than Sylvester. Who wrote this? Sylvester Stallone and Sterling Silliphant. And I guess if they could have found one more person with a double S in his name, they would have made him a writer too. I mean, he's played.
But yeah, he's not a bad guy. He's kind of dumb, but He's uneducated, but just because he's blue collar doesn't
No,
mean that he's
absolutely not.
worthless. The
Yeah.
man is working. Now, I will say, I was amused by the fact that when he pulls up to the military academy, he wears what he has that is formal.
It's the only button-down shirt
Which
he has,
is
and it's
kind of
oil
this,
stained.
and a clip-on tie.
When he pulls that clip-on tie off, I'm like, of course.
Yeah, because I'm thinking you went by America's thrift store and you picked up the clip-on tie, which
The
that's what if
the hilarious thing is they are looking at him in the exact way that all of the townspeople look at Vanilla Ice and his crew while they're driving in Cool as Ice.
yes they are, yes they are.
They're just all slack-jawed and staring like, what's he doing here? Now, I understand it in
Why do
Cool
we
as
have
Ice.
his
I
sword?
understand it in Cool as Ice because Vanilla Ice looks like an idiot and there's three black people, and this is clearly somewhere in middle America, suburbia, that has never actually had a black person cross its borders.
Oh look dear, a poor person.
Right. So, well, I mean, and that's not so. When they're looking at him here, it's just it's one of the paws at a military academy.
I'm surprised that he was able to get in the front door. He pulls that truck around.
Well,
The
he
guy
came up.
says,
He says to the guard who he is when he's pulling
and he
up.
tells it. The guy says, "No, the delivery's in the rear."
Yeah.
And it's like well, the story is he's going to pick him up at military. This kid up at military academy. Michael is his name, and the reason for this is because the mother, who we see twice in the movie,
Three
and
times
is
maybe.
introduced with hooked up to medical equipment,
Mm-hmm.
so you know she's dead.
It's like,
Um, he picks him up at military
they call
academy,
her. It's like, how's that cancer going?
basically.
Really?
The idea is that she wants him to get to know his father.
Because
And
she wants the kid when she's gone to go with Lincoln with Hawk
okay,
instead of staying
okay,
with his rich grandfather, who is
okay.
clearly
I,
paying for military academy and such.
okay, let me have this one for a second.
Yeah.
Okay, let me have this for a second. I have a general fundamental problem with the idea of a military academy for children,
Well, yes.
but within the concealed world of this movie, Michael is in an area that is structured.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting good nutrition,
Mm-hmm.
exercise, and education. He's learning boundaries. He's learning boundaries and structure,
And a guaranteed job after.
a guaranteed job after. And by all accounts, they don't seem to be abusing him at all. He wants to be there.
He's
I mean,
told
when
he
he's
wants to be there. Well,
like,
I think he wants to
he
be
seems
there.
to generally be, yeah, he seems
He
to
wants to
generally
be
be
there
happy to
in
be there.
that he does not know an alternative.
This is true. This is true. But
Like,
it doesn't seem to be a miserable experience. He's
but
not.
we don't really know that.
I'm just saying within what I see in the movie.
Like, but did you also notice that, like, everybody around him, yes, they all had their family, and his grandfather wasn't even there, but it looks like he's looking for his father, but then he looks at him and he's like, I've never seen you before. I don't know who you are. So I guess he
No.
was looking for his grandfather, or I guess the butler, or something. The nanny? I don't know. He was looking for somebody, but nobody was around him. Like,
But
every time I graduated somewhere, yes, I went and found my family, but I also then went and had my friends. I was with my friends initially, and then we broke apart and would go. No one comes over to him. I really don't know if he has any friends there or not.
Well, I also thought, but if he
I had to watch
lives,
this 2 times yesterday
oh
in the
god.
same day, so too much of this is.
But if you watch this, and you start applying logic to it,
Oh,
you
well.
realize that if he goes with his father, if he goes with Lincoln Hawk or Lincoln Hawks or whatever it is, uh, if he goes with him, all of that education and boundary and structure and all of that stuff goes away,
It's gone.
and he doesn't have that. So I'm thinking, okay, the better idea is to allow him occasionally to come and see him, communicate with him, because he did try to communicate with him and
See,
wrote him letters.
that's the whole thing. Like, this genuinely becomes, if he's not with Hawk, he will never see him again, or at least
Right,
until after he's well into adulthood and he won't be allowed to be part of his life.
right.
You know, now, if you really want to think about it,
Hmm.
he had, what, 20 to 1 odds,
Yeah,
right? And
it's
he
not
put
good.
7,000 down on that one. So that would have been what? 7,000 times 20?
Hmm.
He made $140,000 on betting on himself.
Hmm.
What was it? $150,000 in cash.
Cash, which he pulls out of his
Cash.
pocket, this giant wad of cash.
And a $250,000 rig. The man basically collected $500,000 by arm wrestling.
Hmm. Hmm.
So he can start his own company.
Hmm.
He can begin to be doing all of these things that will set him up to be exactly where
Hmm.
Frank Loja is, Robert Loja
Robert
is.
Loggia. Hmm.
I tried to make Frank Langella and Robert Loja the same person, and that doesn't work
Are
out.
you? Did you get the feeling that maybe Robert Loggia's character was connected? I started thinking, okay, he's got hired goons.
No, he's just rich.
Why does he need
He's
hired goons?
because he is 1930s rich.
He needs.
He's the rich from It Happened One Night, where you just got these guys around that you can just go get her, and they go and they're just on your payroll to go do whatever you need them to do, be it savory or otherwise. I think
I kept thinking to myself.
he's
I
old
kept thinking.
school concept rich.
I kept thinking to myself, he's got these two guys who are just always around, and they're his hired goons, and they'll rough somebody up, or they'll even kidnap the kid. But I'm thinking, okay, I had to imagine there's something else going on. Maybe he's got some connections somewhere, got some dirty dealings going on,
Well,
something.
you don't get to be that rich and that hateful without having some dirty dealings. And again,
Yeah,
if he
yeah.
owns a trucking company, he's probably, if he owns a trucking company and he's that rich,
Hmm.
he's smuggling or drug running or something
Something,
on the
something.
side, bringing in a lot more money, because there's a lot of corruption that is there's a lot of corruptive temptation in that line of business.
Well, I'll tell you,
Um,
he apparently has fuck you money,
yeah.
um, and also apparently has hired goon money.
Well, because look,
So,
he even says to his lawyer, you can bend the law, can't you? That's your job. It's like, well, you don't understand what lawyers are for, sir.
You really don't. You really
Lawyers.
don't.
He has a Donald Trump concept of lawyers. It's like, figure out how I can break the law. It's like, that's not what they're for. That's not why you have them.
Because
That's a bad
believes-
thought. That's
he
a bad
believes-
person.
It believes that the idea of lawyers is not to help you with your legal problems. It's to help you hustle and dodge around the law so you can do illegal stuff.
Right. It's so that you can
problem is-
manipulate the law, so that you have somebody
And
that
I
knows
hate
it,
to
so you can dance around it.
And I hate to say this, but there are times when in this movie when Robert Loach is kind of right.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, okay, he can give the kid, obviously financially, can give the kid a much better life. But as you say, if Stallone were to start this trucking company and to get that money going that he's winning from betting on himself. But the problem is the movie never gets into any of this.
Well, at the end of it, he and the kid, he's like, oh, I want to go with you, and he's like, well, we could name the company Sun and Hawk. And he goes, well, what about Hawk and Sun? And then he had some weird hammy line like, well, it could work, whatever bad delivery.
Yeah, it could work.
Do you know that kid's father was the guy that played the priest at the funeral?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
You know what else is funny? The kid he arm wrestles.
Oh, that. Oh, God.
Now wait a minute.
He just happens to find these kids. They're like...
Before we go into the scene, the kid that says, if I can't beat you, I'll kill myself, just retired as Lionsgate CFO for 20 years.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow.
And he worked legal for Deal or No Deal for like 10 years.
Isn't Lionsgate, like... Recently, because I get a lot of screeners from Lionsgate. Lionsgate's become like a Christian thing?
No.
They do a lot of Christian movies?
No.
They do a lot of Christian movies?
They might distribute stuff like that, but I mean, they also did The Long Walk this year.
I think they also did that Reagan movie with Dennis Quaid.
Yeah.
They're doing a lot of right-wing Christian stuff. But anyway, I didn't know that.
Do you remember who founded Lionsgate?
I don't.
Robert Altman.
Ah, that breaks my heart.
Yeah.
That breaks my heart.
Yeah. I mean, he had to sell it at sometime at the end of the 70s. That's why he moved distribution companies to Orion before they imploded. And then he wound up kind of free floating. But yeah, he was with them for a while.
Orion Pictures, the company that while it was going bankrupt won the Best Picture Oscar twice.
Yep.
2 years in a row.
Yeah.
For Dances with Wolves and Silence of the Lambs. Oh, wow.
Yeah. You know that's back. I think it's an arm of MGM, Amazon.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. You don't even have studios anymore. They're just
And now
the only sole studio anymore is Disney.
Disney and Warner's, but Warner's is now they're looking at getting acquired by Paramount.
Wow,
I'm like,
Paramount isn't Paramount still around?
Yeah, Paramount just merged with Skydance for billions of dollars.
Wow.
And they own South Park. They gave the South Park guys $1.3 billion. Over like 10 years.
Do you remember when they used to have Universal, Warner Brothers, Columbia? You had MGM. You had all of these. It's just
Here's the funny
specific.
part. They still are there. Obviously, Disney absorbed Fox, but still use 20th Century Studios and Spotlight as distribution.
Yeah.
So technically, Fox is still around without the name.
Yeah.
But then you've also got Universal, which Comcast owns, which if anybody's going to buy Warner Brothers, I would be in support of that, because at least then they would Universal would have a decent streaming service.
Yeah.
Because Peacock sucks. And they would
So
have
does Amazon.
Yeah. But MGM and Orion are owned by Amazon. Columbia's still around, but it's weird because sometimes it's Columbia and sometimes it's Sony. It depends on which way you look.
It's such weird yeah, it goes back and forth. It's sometimes it's one, sometimes it's both.
Yeah, and there's Disney and there's Warner's.
Who owns the studio Chanel? That's not Columbia, is it? I keep forgetting who's got the.
No, is that an independent label?
It's the one I see, and it's with all the foreign films.
Studio Canal.
Yeah.
Oh, that's independent.
Is it?
Yeah, that's an independent distributor. Them, Criterion, well, Janus, Kino Lorber, Arrow, people like that are more independent, low-level distributors.
Okay, it's a French company.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. I have no idea who owns what. I know that Disney owns Fox, and that's it.
I don't know why. I do know. Actually, no, you know what? I had to learn who produces what fucking movie so that I can figure out which fucking streaming service I have to buy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well,
there are too many, and if they're all just going to be one company, just let it happen.
And I don't like this thing that they do. And Netflix does not do this. This thing that Amazon does, where if you want something, you have to subscribe to Amazon. But if you want something in particular, you have to subscribe to Amazon,
but then there's
subscribe
a channel,
to something else.
And then you've got to pay that every month. And then, there could be shows and movies that you want on there, but, you
got to pay an extra $3.99 for it.
Or $7.99. Or Apple does the same thing, but there's more on Apple.
Amazon Prime just sucks. I hate it. It's like...
Do you know, back when all of the inauguration and all of that kind of crap was going on, and like Target started to get boycotted because of they were going to reverse their DEI, and then their board said no, you're not, and the boycott to Target went into effect, and it's been in for almost a year, and they are struggling hard.
Are they?
I did the same thing with Amazon. I have barely ordered anything from Amazon. If I'm buying a digital movie, the only reason I'm buying it on Amazon is because I cannot find it on Apple
anywhere
or
else.
Fandango. I cannot find.
The only ones we have anymore, Disney Plus, and Disney Plus we just have for Star Wars. But Disney Plus and Netflix, because those are just the two biggest ones.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, we don't even really watch Netflix that much. We watch HBO Max mostly for John Oliver and some other things, but really, if we drop...
I can go down, let me tell you something, I can go down a rabbit hole with John Oliver. I sent you a bit... What was the one I sent you the other day?
It was about the Confederacy and how we did not expunge our racism in the same way that Germany did. I remember that episode.
Just it's a long rant. And he said, I saw one last night where he was talking about Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh, I remember.
And he said, when I sat down to talk about this, when I sat down to write this, I expected it to be a thing that was going to go on for maybe 5-10 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, you are about to hear me rant for 27 minutes. He lets you know that at the beginning. And it's a rant about Chuck E. Cheese.
I love John Oliver so much.
Speaking of Chuck E. Cheese, and getting back to the movie, and I do apologize. There's a scene where he gets Michael out of the military academy and he brings him to his truck. And the kid is looking around, and there are photographs of him. Now, if you own a truck, and I get this, you would have family photos. You would have maybe 4 or 5.
Well, I mean, but
there are 30 pictures of this kid.
He is one step away from cutting out the eyes and making collages. Like, it's scary. It's scary.
I was like, wow, okay.
And I love that the kid brings it up, is like, how do you have so many pictures of me?
Why do you have so many pictures of me? Because they're plastered all over the...
and even, your mom gave them to. I was interested in how you've grown up.
But I'm thinking...
what I wrote to you.
But I'm thinking, make a scrapbook, because this is creepy. Make a scrapbook and have maybe 2 pictures up there. This is creepy.
Listen, the man operates on a... I'm trying to find the nicest way to put this. He's not an educated man. He's not... And he will be the first to tell you that he's not a well-educated, well-read man. He would be what many people would refer to as stupid. He's not, because he knows the world and he can, sort of. He knows a world.
He doesn't know when to keep his eye on his kid, because his son ends up getting kidnapped 20 feet away from him. By a bunch of hired goons.
There's that. Well, he's on a telephone.
Okay, look.
His back turned.
And I want to say this: he goes to Robert Loggia's house, and you know that the man has a big rig, and Robert Loggia has a big fuck off mansion, and you know that the two are coming together.
I really wish he would have driven the truck into the house. Like, that would have been much more fulfilling than just the gate.
But what he does, he would get arrested and go to jail and never see this kid again. Because this is destruction of private property.
Yeah,
he would lose rights.
Yeah.
He would lose rights.
If he pressed charges and everything.
Yeah.
Which is exactly how he gets him to sign away the kid.
Yeah.
He basically blackmails him into, I'll either press charges and you'll go to jail and you'll lose your rights, or you can be free.
And then when he realizes that
rights.
And then when he realizes he's about to win the money from the arm wrestling, he makes him a deal. He offers him a
state of
the art truck and $50,000.
No, $500,000.
I thought it was 50,000.
No, it was 500,000.
Okay.
That's the top of the line truck, and there's $500,000. Go on, start a new life.
Let me tell you something.
Make your own family. I already have a family.
Based on the hired goon money and the mansion money, I think he was lowballing. 500,000. He can afford that for lunch, okay?
And that's exactly why he had no problem giving it to him. Notice that he didn't buy him a new truck. He brought one from his hauling company that is new, but it's not probably off of the lot new.
Well, apparently it's the most state-of-the-art.
Right,
but,
better than the $250,000 rig he could win.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And the funny thing is, he's not even asking him to walk away from the tournament.
Right.
He doesn't care
He's
about
asking him
the
to walk away from
tournament.
the kid.
He wants him to walk away from the kid, which he did. It's the kid who stole one of his grandfather's cars,
And then
drove to
got
the
into the
airport,
airport.
takes a flight to Las Vegas. I seriously thought this kid was going to drive to Las Vegas. I'm like, that's a 4-hour drive from Los Angeles. That's a
He's
long
on a
trip.
he's on a busy street in this truck, and I'm thinking nobody noticed
In
that
Los
there's a child.
Angeles.
He gets out and he goes to run into the airport, and the security guy says, "You can't park that here." To a child.
Yeah, not. And then he flips him the keys and he goes, well, here, keep it.
Keep it.
It's not his anyway. Who cares?
He runs away, gets on the baggage claim thing, and
Oh
he
no, no.
comes
He
up
gets
through
into. He gets on. He buys a ticket and gets on the plane. But when he gets off of the plane, they're already waiting for him. So he does an Ethan Hunt. Goes out the back of the plane. Gets on the luggage
baggage cart.
Covers himself up with a single bag, which apparently that's enough to get him actually taken off of the luggage thing by a handler, one can assume, and onto the conveyor belt, which led him to the baggage claim area. How he got through the whole system of conveyor belts and everything is still is going to plague me. Because think of him having to do what they did in Toy Story, and find like the right outlet. Like it's
what was that? What was that Kieslowski film where the guy shipped himself home inside of a suitcase? That's what I kept thinking of. Or I also kept thinking of, I don't know what the movie was, but John Cusack ends up in the back of a garbage truck. And it passed the lineman, and the lineman's like, "Now that's a damn shame, folks throwing away a perfectly good white boy like that."
I think that's better off dead. I think that was better off dead.
I shouldn't be thinking about these things while I'm watching Over the Top.
No. Well, look. I mean, the same thing happened to me. I was watching Cool as Ice, and I said this before. He's walking on the back of his jacket. It says "Down by Law." It's like, don't do that. Now I want to watch the Jarmusch movie.
What you don't ever do, is remind us of a better movie.
Reference a better movie in your crappy movie, because then you're just gonna be like, well, I should just turn this off and go watch that.
Oh, but I gotta ask you, what you think about the kid?
Oh my god.
Oh god, the scene where the scene where Stallone pimps him out to be an arm wrestler, to a stock movie bully who
again became the Lionsgate CFO for 20 years.
You know what he is? He's Nelson. He's Nelson Muntz. That's what he is. And he gets. But he goes outside, and there's a scene, and I watched this the other night. I had to mute the film because I just could not sit there and listen to this kid. Oh, God, shut up.
Yeah,
David Mendenhall, he's not a bad actor.
He's just not a good one either.
Not a particularly good one either.
He's better than his father, who seems to. I thought this kid got parts because of his father. I started looking through his father's IMDb and compared it to his son's. I think he got work because his son was getting paid. Like, he got a part on General Hospital, and I was like, oh, he was on General Hospital for a number of years, some odd. And then I looked, and David Mendenhall was on there for like 18 times as much as his father.
I'm telling you, if you pull the arm wrestling out of this movie, you have the beginnings of a much better idea.
It could be a kind of a sweet movie.
And you could have, because first of all, Robert Loggia is too mean. Stallone isn't mean enough. And so the character moments are being held back by the screenplay, which wants these people to stand on one side or the other. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like they want to stand on one side or the other. They don't want to. It's a movie written for dumb people.
Yeah.
Because and as we're sitting there watching it, we're like, okay, there's some holes in this because I still don't know really. Specifically what Robert Loggia is mad about, and I'm thinking, and the poor mother is thrown away.
Yeah.
The poor mother is thrown away, and all I'm thinking is, Stallone, if he hadn't stopped to pimp his son out to be an arm wrestler, probably could have gotten the kid to the hospital sooner. Would have been able to be there with his mother.
Look, that genuinely probably only took about 5 to 10 minutes total. In real life, like that's not that you can't.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Now, you can blame the fact that he drove him from wherever they were to California, and it was going to take 3 or 4 days when he knew his mother had like 2 or 3 days left.
And the clock was ticking.
And like they did not put any speed into their journey whatsoever.
No, they did not.
It was very relaxed.
It's very relaxed, and it's done, of course, by a montage of them exercising. And again, creepy. It just kind of creeped me out, and I don't know. I want to know if this is a real thing. This thing that Stallone is doing in the cab of his truck while he's driving.
Oh, I think that was just for this movie because that it looks like an arm wrestling specific exercise.
Okay, if you do that for 8,000 miles, your right arm is going to look great. Your left arm is...
It actually, I thought about that too, and then I remembered Married with Children. There was an episode where there was a hot girl that moved in next door, and she snuck into, what was the kid's name? The guy. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
She was like, oh, could you give me a massage? And he starts massaging her, and he's like, is this a dream? And she goes, you're really strong, especially your right hand. And he goes, nope, not a dream.
All I kept thinking about was, did you ever see the Family Guy where Quagmire discovered internet porn?
Yeah.
And he comes out of his house several weeks later, and his right arm is just bulked up.
But he was just a total mess.
Yeah. That's what I kept thinking of. It's like, okay, when he finally gets to Vegas, his arm is going to be one huge arm and the other one is not. You don't got a chance in Vegas. I love the fact that up till that point, the movie has been about Stallone and his son, okay? And then all of a sudden, they're sitting in a diner, and oh my God, the subplot arrives, and it does not fit with the other plot at all.
And in absolute, in Ed Wood fashion, the B story becomes the A story.
Yeah.
And completely eradicates the A story.
Did you notice when that guy comes up? Did you notice when that guy comes up and says, "You don't have a prayer in Vegas"? You know, he walks up behind him and he starts talking to Stallone. And I'm thinking to myself, Stallone looks embarrassed.
He looks talking to this guy.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't want you to know that I do this, because if you don't know that arm wrestling is part of this, you're like, okay, what is he involved in?
yeah.
You're like, okay, what is he involved in that he's so embarrassed by? You know what I'm talking about? It's like,
I don't know.
but when we get down, but God, when we get down to the tournament, it completely becomes a different movie. The style is different, the look is different, the music is different. It's just weird. It's like they made two different productions and they weren't talking to each other and then they just slapped them together.
Right. It's almost like they got confused and blended the scripts to
Hmm.
uh, they took Rain Man
Hmm.
and The Color of Money and put it into a blender and came up with this movie
And it's
because half of it is Rain Man without
hmm
the autism, and half of it, I
half of
mean,
it is whatever this is.
well,
Half of it is like a wrestling show.
half of it is like The Color of Money because it's he's going towards this end tournament, uh, or the Karate Kid,
And it
or
would have made
I mean,
it would have made a lot more sense if the sport wasn't so laughable. Now, I know that there are arm wrestling leagues, but when you're making a movie,
listen,
you need something
the
with a little
fact
bit
that
of poetry.
he's being when he's announced in the semifinals, he's announced as Lincoln Hawk from the Truckers division.
Hmm.
Apparently, there's
Oh, and
a
did you notice the sexism? Because the prize for the men is like 50,000, and the prize for the women's division is like 25. Did you notice it's like half the prize money is like half?
who's surprised? It was Reagan's
I mean, who's
America.
surprised? You know. But I mean, it just and they try to play it like the Karate Kid with this rock song, the Sammy Hagar song, and it's just you're watching it, you're like, okay, this is just never a sport I can engage in.
But may I remind you,
Double
as a
elimination.
reminder to the audience, it is a double elimination tournament. That means that if one of our contestants loses once, then they have
Still has
another
another chance.
chance.
It is a double
It's a double elimination
elimination
tournament.
tournament. Double. They say that at least 10 times.
Oh God, they repeat it ad infinitum.
And I kept thinking, where's Michael Buffer when you need him? But
I,
I'm thinking if you twist things around, because I know UFC was not a thing yet, but if you twist it around, you make it about wrestling, or you make it about literally anything else, weightlifting, for God's sake,
yeah,
something, anything else but arm wrestling, because arm wrestling, you have an image of kids in a junior high school cafeteria
this
or drunks in a bar.
yeah, basically this is as
This is a drunk sport.
this is as believable as, like, trying to believe that there was like a biking craze in the 80s, or a volleyball craze, with all those
Yeah,
weirdo volleyball movies that came out during the 80s.
I can't. There's some
I don't.
sports that just don't visually. They just don't work. This is one of them. And this is like trying to make a movie about bowling. You just can't make a good
I
movie
would
about.
argue that you could actually make a fictionalized bowling movie better,
Well, they did.
because
It's called
I
Kingpin.
hmm?
They did with Kingpin, but
I was gonna say Big
that was.
Lebowski.
But they never bowl. It's not about bowling. But if you make a movie and there's been movies about probably every sport you can think of.
Hell,
And half of them.
there's been some about swimming.
But there has to be some kind of something going on outside of the sport that the sport is leaning against. This is not leaning against anything. There's no, because the sport could be anything. The
Yeah.
sport could be speed reading for all I can. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah. He is an arm wrestling truck driving man.
yeah,
And
loves his son.
there is nothing more to his character.
There's nothing.
Nothing.
And this is what aggravates me is when you have a movie that if you just change up the writing, if you just tighten this up or that up and take this out and move this around, you have a movie that's just fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't get it.
No, none of it makes any sense.
This was that weird period of Stallone's career when he was starting to make anything, and it was just like,
I think that it was around this, or maybe Cobra even, that he realized, like Al Pacino with Revolution, that just because your name is on it isn't gonna make it a hit.
I think the other problem is that by the time this was coming out, Schwarzenegger was the big thing,
Yeah.
and Schwarzenegger had a better career because he made better choices.
Yeah.
He might have made a bad movie now and then, but boy, he didn't make as many as Stallone did.
No.
Stallone, like I say, for every good movie he made, there was 3 or 4 movies that were just complete turds.
Yeah.
And whatever promise he had with Rocky, a lot of time you're just like, and I think he realized it
Mm-hmm.
because later in his career, when when he was in Rocky Balboa, you can tell that's about the time that he started realizing I need to smarten up
Mm-hmm.
because I've squandered my gifts.
Yeah.
And he basically did the same thing that Eddie Murphy did and the same thing Burt Reynolds did, is that they started off strong and then they just started throwing anything at the public and the public got wise to it
Yeah.
and they stopped going.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It was it,
anyway,
and it got to a point where they were just like, well, I'll just take anything so that my name continues to be in the papers as a working actor.
yeah, well, and
And
also,
then they kind of fell into the John Carradine. They were, producing 5 or 6 movies in one day. He didn't know which one he was doing, but it didn't matter because the lines were all the same.
yeah, and also the studio realized that Stallone's name was a guarantee and that if you slap his name on it, it's going to get good box office no matter how bad it is. So the quality didn't matter.
Yeah, but that
And
started to really fall apart in the late '80s.
yeah, right about here.
Yeah.
Right about here.
Yeah.
And it's just, and again, Schwarzenegger made better movies. And I think I can name probably 3 or 4 movies that Schwarzenegger has made that are bad. The rest of them are great or they're pretty good. But I mean, that's like I say, he just made better choices.
I think we could debate how many successes and flops that.
Well, he made a lot fewer flops than he made a lot fewer. Excuse me. He made a lot fewer flops. Made a lot fewer flops than Schwarzenegger did.
Yes.
Well, Stallone made a lot more flops than Schwarzenegger did. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway, that's
all I got. What do we got next week?
Next.
Next week we're moving into Christmas.
Yes, next week is my first December pick. It is The Who's Tommy, directed by Ken Russell, which you've never seen.
Which I've never seen.
Which is phenomenal. I love it. Anne Margaret got an Oscar nomination for Best Actress for it, and she is to date the only person to ever be nominated for a Best Acting Oscar that her entire part was sung.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And then after that,
because I think Anne Hathaway, they did that for Les Mis. I don't remember if they talked in Les Mis or if they just sang. I know in the play they just sang. I don't remember the movie. The movie was too bad to remember.
That is the most supporting of supporting players because performances, because that is a tiny part.
Minuscule.
And then after that comes my first, and it's a movie that has been on my mind for the last month and a half because I've been working on a video project dealing with it.
Georgia.
And it does have a scene at Christmas. It does have a scene at Christmas.
And it was released on December 15th.
And we are finally going to talk about Gone with the Wind. And I'm going to tell you something. If you have a general knee-jerk reaction to Gone with the Wind, I highly recommend that you check it out again. It is problematic, but it's probably not as problematic as you remember. It's problematic more by elimination.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of by circumstance. Simply because they were not going to talk about the elephant in the room.
Because of what happened with Birth of a Nation.
Right, and it just was not going to be a part of the movie whatsoever. It was just going to focus on these characters and not discuss the politics of the time or the situation of the people. We'll talk about it. And I don't know that we've settled on a second anything definite.
I haven't. I'm not solid on what I'm going to finish.
Definite
Christmas.
For the back half of the month, so we will let you all know. We thank you very much for joining us, and the pod bay doors are now closed.
To tell you the truth, the truck is the most important thing for me. I don't really. It doesn't matter if I become the champion or anything. That's not the most important. I need this truck.
Think it hot from the Truckers Division.